Hi there, my name is Andre and I have here something interesting for my motorcycle, an interesting motorcycle gadget. Now I have been a moderator of r/motorcycles on Reddit for about 5 years now, and over that time it's always been volunteer work, but now finally I have something to show for it, because this is a motorcycle dash cam, a motorcycle running recorder, installable recorder. And it was offered to me for free by the manufacturer, a Chinese company called Viofo. Now, they're not sponsoring this video, but they did send me this thing for free. Motorcycle dash cams have been around for quite a while as an idea. There was a company called Inov that made one. There's now a Xiaomi, a Chinese consumer brand company that does a lot of these. But they've always been kind of a weird motorcycle accessory, because the easiest thing to do if you want to take video on your motorcycle is to use a GoPro. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been having a GoPro on my bike for quite a while in my travels and while recording video on my bike, and I've posted some videos that I've done with GoPros of my motorcycle. And actually mine is quite an old one. Mine is a GoPro 3, and we're right now, as I'm recording this, we're up to GoPro 9. So the thing for every motorcycle dash cam is it better than just getting a GoPro? So let's unbox this and see what it's like and what is actually in the box here. Now I'm going to install this on my motorcycle, my Yamaha FZ1 Phaser, 2008 Phaser eventually. But right now, because it's the end of October, I'm not riding that much. It's getting a little bit chilly. And I'm just going to post this unboxing video just to show you what's in here. So this came to me by DHL from Hong Kong. Delivery was pretty quick, but of course they paid for a fast delivery. So here we are. This is the Viofo motorcycle camera. Model is MT1. Motorcycle 1, I suppose. So not a very big box. Says it has dual channel 1080p recording, so the resolution of these cameras is 1080. It has a camera for the front and a camera for the back, plus the central box controller. It has built-in GPS, it has a wide-angle camera and a super night vision camera. So this is a Sony, dual Sony Exmor R Starvis image sensors. So it is a sensor that is specifically set up to record at night as well. And it's also water resistant and has remote control and a GPS logger. So it actually does have GPS in here, which should mean that it can record both your position, so kind of your track, and also your speed at the time. So these are, I suppose, useful for things like insurance. Let's say if you get into an accident, you can see, you can prove to the police or to the accident investigators that you were not at fault as a motorcyclist, but also it is useful just to kind of record all the stuff that you are doing on your motorcycle and all of your adventures. And so, as I'm unboxing, let's talk about the advantages of a dash cam or a permanent installable motorcycle recorder. So, here we are. There's this foam thing on top. I have to say that the quality of the packaging is pretty good. So this, I suppose, is the installable kind of central device. This is where everything gets recorded. The central control module. Yes. Okay, central control module, and out of here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cables, and they are all the same 7-pin circular cables. They're color coded. We have 1 black, 1 red, 2 yellow, and 1 blue. So the black one is GPS, red one is power, blue is remote control, RC, I assume it's remote control, and the two yellow ones are for the cameras, front and rear. So these are all kind of XLR type plugs, mini XLR, they're not really XLR, they're just small plugs, they're thumb screw kind of plugs, and these look very well made. They look like they're designed to be kind of very secure and waterproof as well. Because this is going to live on your motorcycle outside all the time. Like I, for example, keep my motorcycle just outside. Okay. Now we have, so this is a bunch of bags with different stuff here. So let's see, I wonder if this is something that's easy enough for me to install myself. So this first item is yellow, so this is one of the cameras. So this is what the camera looks like up close. I think it doesn't actually matter whether the camera is, whether it's a front or a rear camera. I think they are probably identical. It does have a little marking on top where it probably shows kind of the top of the camera. So you should mount it kind of vertically, so it shows how to do that. Other than that, it seems like a pretty, quite well made device. It's all kind of rubberized plastic on top here, and it feels pretty well made. Feels like kind of very solid, very good construction. Has a little plastic tab on the front. So yeah, so this kind of screws in, and yeah, so you connect them like that. So kind of just screw these things in. Yep. And there is actually a little tab on here. On the connector that goes into a slot on the camera end. That means you can only plug them in one orientation. Even though the pins are kind of circular, you can only plug these in one orientation. Okay, so that's my first camera. There's another camera there. Another camera with a yellow connector. And yes, they do look identical. This is a GPS device, so it's a GPS receiver. I'm going to assume that this can be mounted somewhere where it will get a good signal. So you're going to want to mount this somewhere that's not behind a bunch of metal, because the central controller you'll probably, or I will probably mount under the seat, sort of in a secure place where I have space, and that's relatively well protected from the elements, even though the central connector does look like it's pretty waterproof itself, or at least splash proof, let's say. This GPS one I would not want to keep under the seat. I would not want a lot of material, certainly not metal, but really not really any other material between it and the open air. So maybe I would mount this somewhere on the inside of my fender, where it's only kind of plastic between it and the outside atmosphere, where it can get a good satellite signal. And it does have kind of a little sticky back thingy on here, so it's kind of 3M tape, much like you'd find, I suppose, on a GoPro controller. Okay, and yeah, it has a color-coded black connector. It's very good. In that sense, it seems like it's very, very simple. This looks like it's the power connector. Red color coding, and yeah, this actually looks like you can very easily install this yourself. It doesn't really require any complicated work. So here we have the okay, so we have a black and red power clips that go onto the terminals of your battery, and we also have a blue wire that's just kind of a cleaned up wire, and this is, I assume, is going to be the ground. So this I will need to find a way to attach to the frame of my motorcycle as a ground in a convenient way. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, okay, there's also a fuse here, a rubber, yeah, so it's kind of a rubber cap that goes on here. in line with the red wire, so with the power wire. And there's a fuse here. It is a number 2 fuse, so I guess a 2 amp fuse. Yep, 2 amp fuse. Standard kind of automotive or motorcycle fuse. Very simple. So yes, if this blows, it's easy to replace. You can replace it anywhere. And it is kind of in line here and in a nice waterproof container, I suppose. Yep, clicks into place very satisfactorily. So yeah, I could just connect this to my battery, but I don't want to do that because I don't want this thing running all the time. I want this thing running probably when my ignition is on. So that's why when I want it to be recording. So I'm going to I'll have to read the documentation on how to install it, and that will tell me how I want to install it to make sure that it only works with the ignition on, whether I connect it somewhere to a different cable or whether this blue cable will let me find a way to only connect it to the ignition. So let's keep looking what's in the box. We also have here, okay, so this is okay, so this is the remote control. So this is the thingy that will go somewhere near the cockpit or near the handlebars. So this is a nice long thick rubberized wire with the same kind of thumb mini XLR style screw-on connector, and on the other end is this little tab that actually has a button on it that says rec, as in record. So it has two buttons. It has a Wi-Fi button and it has a record button, and it actually has a microphone as well built in here, so it does record sound. I think I will have to mount this somewhere. Well, I mean, it's going to record sound, but I don't think I will particularly want to record the engine sound, so I think it'll be okay if I place this somewhere behind my fairings and close to my dashboard. Yeah, so two buttons, and on the back of it is also this kind of sticky back thingy. Okay, so we also have, let's see what other fun stuff we have. We have an assorted box of clips, or assorted bag of clips. Let's keep this out. Okay, so these, I assume, are the mounts for the cameras. Yes. So there is a sticky backed, again adhesive, base to which we get you attach this clip. The clip goes around the camera, and it's secured with a bolt. And yeah, so this gives you pretty good flexibility. The great thing that I'm seeing right now is that you don't need to do any drilling at all. You don't need to do any drilling to run this and install this device on your motorcycle. And in fact, it means that if you do invest in a device like this, or invest in this particular device, the Viofo MT1, and then you sell your motorcycle, it is pretty easy to just take this off. You'll need to get some new sticky back plastic, but that's easy. You can get that anywhere. And other than that, you can definitely remove this from a motorcycle and reinstall it and use on your next motorcycle. So yeah, these things, I wonder how much. I mean, they should have reasonable resistance against vibration, but you do want to place them somewhere that's kind of unsprung and that's relatively vibration resistant. Interestingly enough, these look very similar to a GoPro mount. So I do wonder if you can use this base as a GoPro mount. I will have to check that later on. So yeah, two of these bases here. Actually, a few more in this bigger bag of stuff. Okay, so spare bases. So you do actually, yeah, you get two spare bases to get a whole double set of bases. So you can definitely remove this from the box, and you can remove this and reinstall it. And then an Allen key to do that. Yeah, very good. And then, oh, okay, you know what? You also get a whole bunch of spare bases and some Velcro. The Velcro is going to go on the main device, the recorder device. But yeah, you have a whole bunch of spare ones of these. So yeah, you can definitely reinstall this quite a few times. You even get a spare Allen key. I wonder if they just sent me this very nice device. Okay, so you even get this like spare pad for the remote control. Yeah, I wonder if you get, or the GPS connector, I guess. I wonder if you get all of this in the normal delivery, or if they just send it to me because they want it to be nice for me. But let's see. And that's Velcro. And we also have some zip ties. And we have a micro SD card that goes in here. This is a 32 gig U1 card, actually pretty good card, Viofo branded, with an adapter. I think you might want to have a bigger card for this as well, and a Viofo USB card reader, so you can dump your card's contents onto your computer or laptop easily. And then we also have the little hello booklet. Warranty problem, yeah, warranty information, and the user manual. So let's look at the device itself. I wonder how you install the memory card. So on the bottom of the device, here's the main device again, with its connectors. So on the bottom end of the device, we have a tab that opens up, a little rubberized tab, and in here we have a slot for the micro SD card, and a few other slots that I think are just here to hold this thing on. So one of these, yeah, so this is actually the only place where I think it's a little bit of imperfect build quality. So the tabs on this little slot, they've kind of come out a little bit. So one of them, so there are 3 tabs holding this on. It looks like one of those just broke off right now. But that's no problem, because you can just basically install this thing and forget it. So you can just probably, I might put some tape on here just to make sure that it's absolutely waterproof. Because you're not really going to need to change the memory cards very often. You can get all of the stuff off of here with the Wi-Fi and just onto your device over Wi-Fi. Okay, so that's it. And the motorcycle user manual, that tells me basically what these things are. Yeah, what everything does, how to remove and install all the devices. Yeah, Velcro, remote control, GPS, installing all the cameras. Yes, the little triangle on it has to go up. So yeah, up and down, connecting all of the cables. So connecting with main unit, so let's see. Connecting with the power cable. Connect the power cable, ground, ACC and power, ground accessories and power, to the motorcycle key on wiring. Connect the black wire, the blue wire, so the blue wire is the accessory wire, ignition on, and red wire, permanent on, correctly with the motorcycle wiring. Ensure the power cable is connected correctly. A wrong connection may do damage to the dash camera or the motorcycle. Professional installation is a must, so a trained mechanic is suggested. I think this is the only thing. So finding a blue wire, finding a way to splice the accessory power to the blue wire here is really the only kind of professional installation that you need to do here. The rest of it seems very easy. So it's loop recording, manual recording, emergency recording. It's a loop recording. Time frame for each video file is 1, 2, 3, 5, or 10 minutes. Default is 1 minute. So you can use the Viofo app. and it will tell you, so you can set what kind of loop you want. Do you want just a continuous 1 minute loop recording? I think I would want like 5 or 10 minutes, just so that let's say if I start riding somewhere and it's really fun, then if I want to, if it's a really fun road, if I want to keep some of my footage after I've started riding on a really fun road, and I only then remember that I should really record this or keep this, then I want it to probably to be on 10 minutes. Manual recording, short press the rec button on the remote control to enter manual recording. With indicated red LED light quick flashes, Dashcam saves last file and current file, which is extended by 20 seconds, in the manual rec folder. So it actually saves both the last loop you did and the whatever you're recording right now. And after the manual file video is saved, the MT1 will automatically switch to loop recording. Emergency recording: when the G sensor is activated by a collision, current footage will be locked automatically to avoid being overwritten by loop recording. Very good. So a bunch of indicator stuff. Download the app. How to work with the app. View the videos on the computer. Use the card reader to view the recorded videos on the computer. Yep. And you have to go to dashcamviewer.com. Using Dashcam Viewer could play back detailed information tracked by GPS on the computer, or use other media players to play back the video files directly without GPS. So you don't need the special player, but if you use the special player, then you will get all of the GPS extra data as well. And you can also view on the phone. System settings, so it's 1920 by 1080p, 30 frames per second. Not amazing, but not terrible, considering this is a waterproof, permanently installed camera. Motion detection. Okay, so it has, so let's see, live video source, front camera, rear camera, picture-in-picture, and 1 or 2. So it can actually do picture-in-picture recording from both cameras, which I think is what I would want. Loop recording, how many minutes? Wide dynamic range. Wide dynamic range is the ratio of the brightest portion of the image. So it kind of can you can do HDR for night shots, exposure. You can set this all up in the app. G sensor, time-lapse recording. Record video from frames captured at specific time intervals to conserve memory and reduce the time it takes to review video. The default is off, but if you're like on a really long tour, then you can just set it to permanent stuff. So motion detection on or off. When activated, the camera will start recording if there's movement in front of the camera. Very cute. Once the camera does not detect movement for 60 seconds, it stops recording and returns to motion detection mode. The camera will record again in the time of detecting a new movement. So if you set the thing to actually always be recording, and if you're like kind of parked, then it can stop while you're parked. So GPS, turn it on and off. GPS info stamp, so it can imprint the GPS information on the recorded video, so you can see that on a regular video player even without any of the kind of extra stuff, any of the Dashcam viewers. Okay. Speed unit, kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Date and time zone, date stamp, camera model stamp. I don't know what it is with the Chinese kind of putting their camera model on the video. Frequency, image rotation. So you can actually rotate the image in the settings. So you can take these cameras and you can mount them either the right way up or the wrong way up, so kind of upside down, or not, depending on how your kind of motorcycle is set up and what's convenient for you. And then, yeah, car number, so you can imprint your license plate on this device. Custom text stamp, and firmware version, and you can update firmware too. So yes, so this is the unboxing of the Viofo MT1, and I will post this video, and I will post more videos for sure when I install this on my motorcycle and when I go riding with it.